compared to the fight last time when you were here, what makes this time for this bill for the first responders different? In your mind, the push to get it done.
I mean, it feels very similar, unfortunately. I'm not quite sure why these guys have to come down and lobby on behalf of those that are. I mean, you see, there's people that are really struggling. They're sick, and their families, their widows. So it kind of boggles the mind, to be honest with you. I don't really know why we have to do it.
And some of the members are voicing concerns about fiscal responsibility on this specific topic. Why do you think it's more important to spend money in this area when other members are saying we have to possibly look at
I think
cuts in other areas?
They've shown their disingenuousness in terms of fiscal responsibility by the way they've operated over the last 2 years. We're at $1 trillion deficit now, and $22 trillion total debt. So if fiscal responsibility, because the pay-go was, as you know, it was a Republican talking point. And so they didn't have to have a pay-go for themselves when they issued those big breaks, $1.5 trillion. So this is $8 to $10 billion that, I don't know if you remember, there was a press conference in the Rose Garden just about a week and a half ago where they talked about they had so much money coming in from China and so much money coming in from Mexico and billions at the DOD that they don't even know what to do with. So they might be taking $8 billion and maybe moving it over here if they want. They don't have to, but they could. Well, guess how much this would cost? $8 billion. It's an insult to these guys that are on this side of the heroes. We haven't taken care of them. And it's not right what's happened. They've never, what they talked about, none of these guys ever questioned going down to 9/11, going down to Ground Zero. Well, is there going to be a pay for? Because I'm not going to go down there and put myself at risk. Like, they're always there. And we have a moral responsibility to respond when they need it. So that's my feeling.
I'm with the Hollywood Reporter. I was just sort of wondering.
Hollywood Reporter?
I know. I'm here for CPAC and to see you.
Oh, all right.
So what is the key to keep it in the news cycle? Is there any way to do that?
Conflict. That seems to sell.
So you have to fight. You have to have lash out at someone, or just to be a headline about someone.
I think it has to be clickbait or it has to be conflict. Look, we shouldn't be in this situation. This is 18 years from 9/11. Like, this is truly madness. And the suffering that they go through, like, the last thing that you should want to put them through is the stressor of being unsure of what their financial situation is going to be in the future. And by the way, this program has been so effective and so well put together that we should apply it to our veterans who have been exposed to the burn pits in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's the only thing that's analogous to what these guys went through down at Ground Zero. We should immediately be putting those veterans into a pre-screening program to catch some of these cancers and illnesses before they happen, or to catch them early. Like, let's be proactive for these men and women for once in our fucking lives.
Well, this is what it leads to.
Right.
These guys, people dying.
It's no joke. Last time we were down here, Ray was here. When Ray first came down here, he was walking. Then he was in a chair. Now he's gone. Like, this isn't okay.
And you emphasized that this is actually one area where you agree with the way the administration's handling it.
The Justice Department, the special paymaster, who is a woman named Rupa, has done an incredible job of streamlining the bureaucracy, of making it responsive to the needs of the 9/11 responders, but also has paid fealty to the taxpayer. In other words, she's made it way more efficient, and she's been able to process and accredit claims in a much better way. And so because of that, the backlog is disappearing. Some of these people are waiting 2 years. So as the backlog disappears and the real need becomes available, that's when you start to see how insufficient the money is. And by the way, like, these people aren't looking to get rich. Like, they were told by the EPA officially that this was safe. If these people were lesser people, they would have brought the mother of litigation against our government, and it would have been in the trillions. These people are looking for fair health care and fair compensation for their loved ones not to have to suffer because of what they did selflessly. It's so simple. Like, the program's already there.
And you did mention in there the 24-hour news cycle.
Yes.
And how the media is going to be talking about the meeting with Kim Jong-un and President
Well, but by
Trump.
the way, look, that's news. There's no question in my mind that's news. Like, that's not, there's no bullshit there. Like, they should be talking about that. But they will also make a meal of nonsense, as they do. We need their advocacy. We need advocates.
I mean, the cable networks still have pretty large audiences. Fox News, obviously. Are they playing a good role in terms of giving interviewing
They're absolutely necessary. I mean, they're crucial to getting the pressure on. These guys will listen, man. We've been in enough offices with these guys and been down the hallways where they do this kind of shit. Hey, well, it's got some first responders want to talk to you. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, Madeline. Yeah. And if we allow them to escape into those areas of darkness, they'll go, and they won't get this done. So we have to create the momentum. 18 years later, it's nuts.
Now, you've been outspoken about politics in the past. What's your impression of Trump's job performance overall? Better than you thought? Worse than you thought?
I have no. There's no room to even speak of it. I'm here to advocate for 9/11 first responders and their families and the survivors, and to get this program renewed properly. That's all we care about.
Do you think people respond to these Trump headlines or criticizing Trump? That people
you can't control what other people do. All I can tell you is, like, I've ridden enough buses with these guys, and I've spent enough time, and I've become close enough to them to know. And these are stoic individuals. These are not people that are prone to woe is me. Like, they're some of the most steadfast individuals that I've met. And they suffer in a way that they shouldn't be made to suffer. And they do it not because what they're asking for is hard, not because what they're asking for is too expensive, and not because what they're asking for isn't what's right. They suffer because somehow the inertia here is towards inaction. They're first responders. All they do is talk about how to respond more quickly to our issues. And here we are 18 years later, unable to respond when they need it. It does not cast a very positive reflection on our governance.
Do you feel like Congress is going to work more efficiently, or now that after the midterm election results, are you more confident that the Democrats having the House, that something like this?
I have no fucking idea. Here's all I know. This is a program that works. It's effective. It's shown itself to have no fraud. It's been administrated properly. It needs money. The money that everybody told them it was going to need. There are 20,000 outstanding claims, cancers and otherwise, that are going to have to go through a pot that is going to be slashed by 50 to 70%. They're getting penalized because they got cancer later than other people. And that amount of money, that $8 billion that you hear thrown around, that takes care of this. 8 to 10 probably takes care of this for good, because the VCF those awards get smaller and smaller as people get older.
Well, why is that? Why do they get smaller as they get older?
Because, the formula is also based on earnings over time. So if you get, when these guys first went down there, their average age is 38. Mikey over there, he was 27. He was a baby when he got sarcoidosis. So, you're talking about a career that was going to last. And by the way, not one of these police and firefighters and construction workers and union guys and corrections officers, not one of them wouldn't rather still be on the job. This isn't a handout. They don't want a handout. They want to be on the job. But because they did the job, they got sick, and they can't do it anymore, and they can't provide. And this is a way to relieve some of that extra stress and pressure. It's going to get done. Why make them suffer while we do it?
And it's a good reason. Good question. Why?
I don't know. It's fucking baffling. It's baffling.